Hi, today we'll just understand more about local storage. So, what is local storage? So, in a web application, most of the time, whatever actions happens, it is mostly connecting to the server and returning back. So, most of the data which is being stored in a server and when you fetch back to our front end, we'll bring it as a JSON format. So what is a JSON format? JSON is nothing but JavaScript object notation. Now let's see what is the latest HTML5 local storage API is. Every browser comes with this particular feature called local storage. You can store data as key value pair up to certain levels. So let me start a very simple web page. You can see here the code storage.html. It's a very basic HTML. I've just opened this in this place. Let me open the inspect element. Now when you come to this console, let's see what is the local storage. When you type local storage, uh, let's do one thing. I want to store my name and I should be able to access it from that. So local storage. This is an object. If you type like this, you can see it's an object which is a storage object which is having a length of 0. That means nothing is inside this. Let me zoom it. Now let's see what we can do. For example, my name is Robin, like this, and I want to store this data into local storage. Let's see how to do it. It's very simple. Local storage dot set item, and it comes like a key value pair. This is a function which is taking a key and a value. Let's keep the key as name, value is Robin. So now the value is inserted. If you now just go and type local storage, you can see the storage is registered and name, and that's it. So if I want to retrieve it, what I can do is local storage dot get item name. Now you can see I've stored one data and its value. This is how a local storage works. Let's see a little more complicated data. For example, let me keep it as marks. This is an array. Let me keep it as 10, 20, 30, 40, 15. Can we store this data into local storage? Let's give a try and see. Local storage dot set items marks, and what is the here the let's refer this array directly here, marks. Now local storage, you can see the moment we insert the data into it, the marks is being inserted as a string, but here we are giving it as a array. Okay, so when we are storing it, the set item method converts the particular array into a string and stores it. Let's clear it off. Now let's go and see local storage dot marks. You get it? Either way, I can even get it like this, name like this. Now I want to convert. I'm having a little more sophisticated array. Let's keep it as a database person equal to, let's have a okay, we'll keep it like people. We have a list of people. For example, from the database you are fetching the data. Let me say like this, each row is, I'll fetch it as each rows. I'm having 4 people I've fetched from database, either from Laravel or anything else like this. Name Robin, department CSE, and location So this is one record. Let's take another record. Name Daniel. Department mechanical. Location USA. This is another record. It is coming from Mike. It is department ECE, Electronics and Communication Engineering. Now location Canada. And another record. Let's keep the James. Let's keep him as from his civil. Keep it like civil engineering. Now location Australia. Fine. So you can see this is a array. For example, people of 0 will bring me Robin, 1 will be bringing Daniel, 3 will be bringing. Fine. Now let's I'm just clearing it, but still that variable will be there. You can see here. Now I want to store this data is coming from an API. For example, we have an API like HTTPS, like example.com/select all users. If you are writing like this, something a call to it using Axios or any Ajax method, you are returning an object like this. But I want this array to be stored in my browser. So I don't want every time to request to the server and bring the data. So in this condition, I want to put this into a local storage. The good thing about local storage is if I'm going and refreshing it also, you can see the local storage will always have the data in it unless and until it is removed. But you cannot access the same thing in another tab. For example, here if I'm opening it, I cannot get the local storage. You can see that. So now let's do one thing. Let's store the data. That is the people. Sorry. Okay. Let me put the same code here. Now I want to put this people array into local storage. How can we do it? Local storage. Let's try our normal method. Set item, that is like people, and let's pass the variable called people. Now local storage dot people. You can see this is bringing me an object. So if I go to people, this is not usable. You know that it is just converting into an object, but nothing is being stored. I cannot use this one. So in this condition, we need to do only one thing. JavaScript comes with a method called JSON, a class called JSON. In that, I can go and say, for example, JSON dot stringify. What I'm going to people array. I mean this array. Let's stringify and see what we get. Can you see this? The entire data is properly converted into a string. Now this string I can store it in local storage. So for example, local storage dot set item people. Let's directly call the method like this. JSON dot stringify people. Enter. Now let me close it all these things. Now let me say local storage dot people. Now can you see I'm getting a data like this. Once you get the data like this, it's very simple. You can just put it into an array called people is equal to local storage dot people. Now I can always access people array, which is a stringed version. Now we initially use JSON.stringify. Now here, once we want to convert it into a real object, we use JSON.parse people. Now your data is properly available. Now if I'm storing it into the same variable called people of 0 will be Robin, and I want to get his name, I get it. If I want to get his department, I can get it. So these things you can see in the application tab. Whatever is stored in the local database, local storage, you can see this. It will be stored like this. Can you see what are the variables we have been using? Initially marks. So once this is a very good method in order to keep a data consistent into your application layer. And once this tab has been closed, ultimately this is the same method is used for building a simple to-do list without database, etc. And all. We can use our browser itself as like a database. So this is the use of local storage. And if you don't want to have anything, you can delete. Then clear. For example, let me clear the name. Now it's clear. Let me go to the application tab and go to the local storage. You can see now things are clear. I can specifically clear it, or I can, once the moment you can remove an item properly, like it will be like remove an item. If you do a clear, it will remove everything inside the database. If you want to specifically remove one item, you can specifically mention like this and remove it. For example, I'll show you one example. Let me take this. Now same example, I'll stringify it. Yeah. Now again I'm going to put so let's see the application tab. You can see one key is there, one value is there. Let me add few more. Local storage dot set item name problem. Let's put a comma. It's a function. It's assigned two parameter. One is a key and value. If I go to application, you can see two values. If I want to specifically remove one item, I can mention like dot remove item name. It's name. Now you can see name is removed. But the moment you run, if you want to remove everything, you just need to run clear method. So if you go to this, everything is. So that's it. You can use local storage in your application like this for multiple purpose to store any data. So when you write a JavaScript like that, for example, very simple example, let me show you. Script. If we are using a library like Axios, it will be like axios.get. Let it be any URL. Let me http://example.com. So when I'm getting then is nothing but whenever I'm getting a response, I want to take that response and I want to store it into local storage dot set item. Let me keep it as peoples, and the result will be in the response object. So response dot data. I want to take this response, convert whatever data I got into this into a JSON dot stringify. So what happens is, the moment the web page is loaded, the server requests this URL. It will request this URL and get the data, store it into our local storage in a name called people, which is a stringified version. So when you want to use it for any purpose in your application, you can directly use, you can call a people array like this, JSON dot parse local storage get item people. Now this array is applicable. Now you can use this PHP array in order to print like this li equal like this li. In Vue.js normally you will be doing v hyphen for loop person in people. Now you can print their name like this, person dot name. So it will ultimately bring a list of all the people. That's it. Thank you.